Lots of community members are wondering if you can confirm whether or not you are exploring a run for governor, and if so, what your pitch is.
Well, shoot.
And if so, what your pitch is to voters about your qualifications.
Well, I would say one thing, to quote the late, great Yogi Berra: when you come to a fork in the road, take it.
Okay, hold up. What? They asked her direct question: are you running for governor? Well, as the late great Yogi Berra said, if there's a fork in the road, take it. What in the Sarah Palin is going on here? What? All you gotta do is put some glasses on her, pull her hair back, and then do that folksy accent. As the late great Yogi Berra said, if there's a fork in the road, you'll take it here and now. Then, yeah, don't y'all know? It was already bad after Willie P. By Willie P, I mean Bill Clinton. His wife decided, I'm going to run for president. And people said, oh, God, this lady, this warmonger, is she going to deregulate things just like her husband did? On the state level, now there's talks, whisperings throughout the state of Ron DeSantis' wife, Casey DeSantis, running for Florida governor. Is this going to be a DeSantis dynasty that we're going to have in this state now? Ugh, shudder at the thought, right? Let's get into it, because I think this is something that it's annoying. And I don't think that I don't think this actually should happen. Because, after Ron, I don't want Casey. So let's take a look at this. Let me make sure this is big enough so everybody can see. So this says, take the Casey DeSantis buzz seriously. This is Ron DeSantis' wife, Casey DeSantis. Right? Just one little itty bitty thing. What? Why do all these? I hope I don't get in trouble for this. But why does it seem like all these women on the right all look the same now? They all have this particular look about them. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the trad wife or something like that, but they all look the same. I'll talk about all black people look the same. It tell y'all apart. Anyway, just an aside. But let's continue. Says on the menu today, why should you take the Casey DeSantis for governor buzz seriously? Why Joe Biden isn't coming back to the political spotlight, even if NBC reports otherwise, and why the Trump administration isn't going far enough in his campaign of retribution against America's colleges and universities. Says Casey likely coming up to bat. You may have seen the coverage of my Friday morning interview with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Casey DeSantis at the National Reviews Ideas Summit. I don't know if Casey DeSantis will run for governor of Florida in 2026, but consider a handful of facts. The governor could have come to the NR Ideas Summit alone. The DeSantis came together and did a joint interview. We don't tell our guests the interview questions ahead of time, but we do discuss the topics likely to come up. And the DeSantis team was just fine with the question about the buzz around her running for governor. In fact, I think they wanted that question asked. DeSantis offered a long answer, which you can that emphasized that as much as she was proud of her husband's record, they could be undone, reversed, or squandered by the wrong successor. He ended with, "We'll see, right?" Ron DeSantis told the story of how the late Rush Limbaugh said Casey should be the one running for governor. People who have no interest in running for governor usually say, "No, I'm not running for governor." So it seems reasonable to surmise that there is at least some genuine interest on her part. Now, if you're skeptical of any wife of a successful politician running for office when he's term limited, I get it. If Casey DeSantis runs, she will have to earn the GOP nomination in the office. President Trump has already endorsed Representative Byron Daniels. But keep in mind, Casey DeSantis is awfully darn sharp and knows Florida state policies quite well. Based upon my limited interaction with her, I suspect her retail politics skills are as good as they come. The wins high name recognition and the funding machine that propelled Ron DeSantis in 2018 more than $58 million, and in 2022 more than $177 million. You're looking at a potential gubernatorial candidate who would be at minimum formidable. So ultimately, is something that so by 2026, if Casey DeSantis is the governor, and let's say she does 8 years, state. And I'm afraid, but not afraid. Here's what I think is going to happen here in Florida. Whoever's the Democrat is going to run a Kamala-like campaign, meaning that he or she or they are going to run to the right of Casey DeSantis and go, "Oh, well, I'm going to do this Republican thing, but I can do it better." Because this is essentially a red state. If somebody's going to run for governor of Florida, number one, they need to be outside of duopoly. Now, if you do plan on running for governor of Florida and you're running outside of duopoly and you have policies that, I can largely agree with, cool. Let's have you on. Come on the show. Let's have a conversation. The problem is that local politics, local news stations, they're largely going to avoid you. They're going to be all over Casey DeSantis. They're going to be all over her like crazy, like water and rice and milk on a plate in a snowstorm covered in salt. And as this continues, it's not going to be good. Like, of course, there's underpinnings of Byron Donalds running. And if he were to run and win, I think he'd be the first Black governor of Florida. Even though he's a conservative, he would be the first Black governor of Florida. If Casey DeSantis wins, I think she would be the first female governor of Florida. I don't think we've ever had a female governor. And something tells me the Republicans would actually push that. Like, they would say, "Oh my God, we don't want to focus on identity," but they would be pushing the hell out of that. "Oh, I'd be a female governor, but she still has the same policies as Ron DeSantis." Right? Is she running for governor? Let's take a look here at the questioning, because they actually did a press conference, and I want to get into this. And I'm gonna be real with you. The DeSantis's, they annoyed the hell out of me in this interview. I'm telling you, you'll see why. Stay tuned. All right, let's get into it.
Right now at noon, Governor DeSantis, along with Florida's First Lady, making a South Florida stop today.
They're speaking at FIU as speculation grows over a potential run for governor for Casey DeSantis. Since Christina Vasquez joins us live from the campus this midday. Christina, good afternoon.
That news conference wrapping up a short time ago, and you have that absolutely exactly right. And we know that because the governor earlier this week, he started playing up the idea of his wife potentially running to be the next governor of Florida. So as soon as that news conference ended and he opened it up for questions, we asked her, and this is what happened. Lots of community members are wondering if you can confirm whether or not you are exploring a run for governor, and if so, what your pitch is.
Oh, shoot.
And if so, what your pitch is to voters about your qualifications.
Well, I would say one thing, to quote the late, great Yogi Berra: when you come to a fork in the road, take it.
Okay, hold up. What? They asked her direct question. Are you running for governor? Well, as the late great Yogi Berra said, if there's a fork in the road, take it. What in the Sarah Palin is going on here? What? All you gotta do is put some glasses on her, pull her hair back, and then do that folksy accent. As the late great Yogi Berra said, if there's a fork in the road, you'll take it here and now. Then, yeah, don't y'all know? Number one, let me tell you something about these conservatives, people like Ron DeSantis, especially people who are MAGA. These conservative politicians are lame as hell. Lame. Just no flavor. No, nothing. And then you're going to give a non-answer about Yogi the Bear? What in the hell? Oh my God. This is a cartoon. We live in a cartoon.
You guys can read in that what you want. Look, I mean, I think that
you guys can read in that in whatever you want. Read into it.
And I've had people coming up to me for years begging to get her in the fray.
Mrs. DeSantis, we were just looking for some clarity as to whether the fork in the road coming means you're running for governor.
I think she's leaving that to imagination and to start talking about good old Yogi Berra.
Leaving that up to imagination. So speaking about it, but dodging confirmation and not leaning into the question of articulating to voters what she thinks her qualifications would be if she really is indeed exploring that as a future career path. Meantime, he also said during this news conference that, and he made it a verb, that he plans to start dojiing local public universities throughout the state of Florida and local governments. I did ask him if that is, in a way, Tallahassee bigfooting onto local governments. And he said, in his view, it is not. So we'll definitely probably begin to see a little bit more on that in the coming weeks and months, because the governor did say that part of this idea requires using artificial intelligence. And for that, he thinks that he would need some state legislation passed. So we shall see. Reporting live for you, I'm Christina Vasquez.
Now you see why I'm annoyed. You see why I'm in an angry mood. I'm ornery. Oh, maybe I'm gonna run for governor. Maybe I'm not. Who knows? Tee. Making me itch. These people make me itch. Oh my God, these people make me itch. Look, let me tell you something. Either you are or you aren't. If you and here's the thing, she is. Because somebody who's definitely set on not running would say, nope, I'm not running for governor. And leave it at that. When somebody gives you the, well, I just leave it up to the voters to think and, blah, 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 yakety schmacky, blah, 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 blah. You know what? That's what they do. Because they're trying to say, well, we may leave it up to the imagination. It ain't no damn imagination. If you are, you are. If you ain't, you ain't. Either you're in or you're out. It's just like what mamas used to say whenever, every single time you run in and outside the house. Either you're inside the house or you're outside the house. Stop running and swinging my screen door open all the live long day. Don't slam my screen door, number one. Number two, if it's hot outside, stop opening my door because you're letting all the cold air out. Either you're in or you're out. Casey DeSantis, are you in or are you out? I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. This isn't some game show. This isn't some reality TV. This is real life. And you're giving them maybe. And here's further evidence that, yeah, she's running. Why would Ron DeSantis do this? Ron DeSantis' team is urging Florida lobbyists not to back Representative Byron Donalds for governor. The pressure campaign comes as DeSantis' wife, Casey, considers jumping into the 2026 governor's race. Why would you be telling, if you already have somebody viable, and Trump is already saying, hey, I want this guy to be governor? Why would you be telling lobbyists to say, hey, don't back that? Unless you're trying to prepare a place for your wife. This is nepotism. I thought people like Ron DeSantis were all about merit-based system. So if it's merit-based, then why isn't the Casey DeSantis starting at the bottom, right? What is her background? Hang on. Let me see something. Because my question is, as far as Casey DeSantis goes, is what is her educational background? So she was in media. Okay, so let me see this. Hang on, and then we'll get back to that article. Because I'm like, if you want to go by the merit-based system, then you would, have her go up in the ranks in government. It says early in her career, DeSantis hosted the Golf Channel programs On the Tee and PGA Tour Today. She was also a local newscaster and anchor for WJXT in Jacksonville, Florida. She held several positions there, including assignment reporter, morning anchor, and police reporter. In 2014, DeSantis was a moderator for The Chat, an hour-long roundtable panel discussion that aired on Tanga's Jacksonville station, WTLB, and WJXX. She hosted a weekly talk show show First Coast Living as well as the American Dream program about entrepreneurs. DeSantis wrote and produced the television documentary Champion, the J.T. Townsend story, about a high school football player, J.T. Townsend. She also won a regional Suncoast Emmy Award. So her only technically political position is the First Lady of Florida. So she has no life outside of being First Lady of Florida as a political career. She wasn't anyone in city council. She wasn't anybody in county commission. She wasn't anybody in the Florida legislature, in the Florida House. She wasn't anybody in the Florida Senate. She did not hold any public office whatsoever. And all because she's the governor's wife, she's going to run for governor. And because she has a name recognition and millions, if not billions of dollars behind her from corporations and real estate investors, she gets to run for governor. But you're all about merit. No, baby. No. This is nepotism. This is just as much nepotism as it was. Hell, at least Hillary Clinton, and trust me, I am no fan of Hillary Clinton, but at least Hillary Clinton was senator of New York before she ran for president. At least she got some public office, work done first, right? Casey DeSantis is going straight from First Lady to governor. What? Have you ever ran for office before? Have you ever been an elected official before? Now, a lot of people say, well, Donald Trump has never been an elected official. And my thing is, it's like, okay, fine, right? But this whole merit-based, it kind of falls apart. Because she's doing it because that's his wife. If Casey DeSantis wasn't Casey DeSantis was still Casey Black, and she wasn't married to an elected official that was the governor, and she never held public life, but then she decided to run for governor, that's one thing. But because you're the wife of the governor, that means some people are going to see her as a shoo-in. All because she swapped spit with the guy that was running Florida. It's stupid. It's stupid to me. Like, no. And then on top of that, the policies that she would carry on as Ron DeSantis, basically, it would be Ron DeSantis' third term, essentially. And who's to say that he won't be, advising her and whispering her in the background of what to do? Or maybe she's the one advising him and whispering behind his ear in the background right now. But these policies are leaving Floridians in the dust. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, let's go back to that article really quick. It says Ron DeSantis' team is urging Florida lobbyists not to back Representative Byron Donalds for governor. Pressure campaign that this is what they're leading right now. So it says Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' political operation is making calls urging state lobbyists not to support Representative Byron Donalds, whose 2026 bid for governor has already socked away more than $3 million, much of which has come from President Donald Trump's donors. The calls, according to 7 people familiar with the effort who requested anonymity to speak freely, are attempts to curb any potential contributions from mostly Tallahassee-based lobbyists to Donald's campaign. Donalds, who represents Southwest Florida District, announced his Trump back bid for governor last month, but there remains the prospects that DeSantis' wife Casey could also jump in the race. which would set up a heavyweight GOP primary and continue the long-running political proxy war between Trump and DeSantis. They're becoming a lot more aggressive with this thing progresses. There are no threats or anything direct like that, but come on. When you get a call for the governor or anyone around them in this sort of context, it's a message sender. Florida is 3 weeks into its legislative session, which the same lobbyist DeSantis is urging not to support Donald needs DeSantis to sign bills into law for their clients. There's a tension among many as they try to toe the line, signaling that they're with Donald's, as many will, without incurring DeSantis' wrath. It says, in a term we keep hearing is keep your powder dry. The person said of how the request not to donate Donald's is being framed. Both DeSantis and Taryn Finsky, one of his top political staffers, have made some of the calls, according to one of the sources familiar with them. Finsky did not reply to a request seeking comment. So, now, it says Casey DeSantis has not yet said whether she plans to run formally for governor in 2026, but her husband has increasingly hyped her as a key part of his administration's success, and she has done nothing to publicly swat down the idea of a campaign when reporters have asked her about it. So it says NBC News reported last month that Casey DeSantis was seriously considering running to replace her husband. A spokeswoman for the governor's political operation did not reply to request for comment. So here's the thing. Here's one of the benefits of Florida. Now, of course, there's, the devil's in the details about this. But thankfully, we did not pass taking public financing of state elections away in the last ballot initiative, thankfully. So if you decide to run for, I think it's either governor, lieutenant governor, or I think it's AG. I forget the third one. But you can get public financing of state elections, right? Which is a good thing. So if you're running third party, you can run third party and run for governor or independent. And I'm urging somebody who is in Florida, if you believe in healthcare as a necessity, housing as a necessity, education as a necessity for everyone, if you believe in having a clean, well-balanced environment, and you don't want to see capitalism, I don't want to see capitalism ever again, but if you don't believe that capitalism really should be, a mainstay here in Florida, hey, there you go. Right? Because Byron Donalds and Casey DeSantis, they're going to be basically battling it out in the Florida primary. Whoever the Democrats choose, it could be Nikki Fried or whoever. They got them. But there needs to be a third party person or independent. But yeah, Casey DeSantis. What do you guys think about that? I think it's just like, the hell are you guys thinking? Casey DeSantis, really? I don't know. I don't like the duopoly anyway. So either Democrat or Republican, we're screwed. Whether it's going to be Casey DeSantis, Byron Donalds, or whoever the Florida Democratic Party chooses. But ultimately, this is why we talk about organizing our communities and doing the best we can to build dual power, because no matter what they do at the duopoly, this state is cooked. Thank you so very much for watching my channel, and I deeply appreciate it from the top and bottom of my heart. If you wish to support the channel further, so I can keep bringing you content that is educational and informative, you can become a patron on patreon.com/Jaybefaunt. You can find that link in the pinned comment or in the description below. No matter what you give, you'll be supporting independent media and education that helps make the world better. Thank you so much. And you can watch more of my content here. Mwah. Forehead kisses, and have a beautiful day.